All right. And there it is. Just like that, we're right back at it. We're back.
Right back at it.
We back like we never
What
left. Matter of fact,
what
welcome
what does
everyone.
the lady say at the beginning?
Well, she was saying that the call is being recorded, but she said it in Spanish. I actually have my whole phone set in Spanish. Um, that's free game. I think a lot of people use Duolingo too much, and it only teaches you how to say vocabulary that isn't always relevant. But when I'm looking at my phone, all these buttons are relevant because I'm using it because it's a device, and I already know what they all mean. So once this shit is being said to me in a different language, I instantly understand that sentence. You know?
That makes so much sense.
Bro, we learning. This is an educational podcast and platform. Like, I don't like the gossip. I don't like the speculation. I like pure information on mines.
Word.
And that's what we're going for. And who better to talk to? This is a good ass segue if I say so myself. Who better to talk to about science and information than the man himself, a true scientist in this shit. I'm not trying to be funny. Like, we got a real thinker, a plotter, planner, strategizer, and a professor. As a matter of fact, we got small professor in the building.
What up?
What's happening, my brother?
Nothing much. Yeah, just enjoying the bleak atmosphere of the the city on this day after all sports teams failed miserably in their respective
Well,
fields
to be
last
fair,
night.
the Sixers are in Cancun right now. But if they were playing, they probably would have lost.
Yes, that's probably accurate. Um,
Which loss hit you the worst? I mean, obviously the Phils, that's postseason, so that matters. But
I actually was in the stew with Curly Castro
shout out Curly
at
Castro.
the time of all embarrassing um, exhibitions, so I did not find out about anything until I got home at around like 12 last night. So,
Oh
that being
man.
said,
Wait, Castro be in the
none.
studio not watching sports? He strikes me as like
No,
a
he was busy yelling at his championship um,
uh,
Oklahoma Thunder lose. I think they were actually up by 17 when he was yelling at his phone.
isn't it
But he,
preseason for the NBA?
yes, it is preseason, making him yelling at his team for only being up 17 even more
Why
ridiculous.
is he a Thunder fan? No, you know
Um,
what? Let me not even get into that
yeah,
because when the time
you'll have
comes,
to,
I
yes,
will
you'll
speak
have
to
to,
Castro.
uh, yes, but
Castro's a good
he
guy.
is he is a longtime Thunder fan, and they did right by my boy, so
Was he a
they are good
Sonics
with me.
fan?
Yes, I
Okay.
believe he was a Sonics fan originally, but
They
don't
had a
don't quote me on it.
they had a little squad when I was a small child. You know, the Sean Kemp, Gary Payton
Oh,
era was.
I remember the Sonics era myself. I was very into Gary Payton locking down Michael Jordan in the, what was that, 96 finals?
Yeah, man, they didn't call him the glove for nothing. And shout out to Gary Payton also because he actually has really good weed. Most celebrities and athletes and what have you be like coming
Wait,
with the
wait, wait.
booth.
I didn't even know that was a thing. Gary Payton has weed?
He has his own strain that Cookies sells, and I'm not gonna publicly state how I feel all the way about Cookies right now because this is a hot mic, and we need any and
Sure.
all people to know that we love them. Anybody doing anything, like I shout out to you. But I
Yeah.
think, long story short, I think the earlier versions of some of that Gary Payton was like some of the gassiest gas that there was. And as with all things, it kind of blew up a little bit. So maybe the same is not true anymore. I mean, I remember Gelato suffering a similar fate, but
Hmm.
sometimes these strains get a little too big for their strains, rather get a little too big for their britches. But Gary Payton has
Word,
always had
word.
some gas. It's always the one that costs the most at the cookie store
Wow.
in downtown Oakland. So shout
This
out.
is what this is on me for not traveling that as much as I probably should have. So,
Well, look, man, you're a
uh,
responsible dude. I mean, you're not traveling instead of taking care of the shit you got to take care of. So there's something to be
this
said for
is
that.
this is true.
So, but we got to, like I said, a responsible man, a thinker, a professor. and we appreciate you, stopping by. We already spent some time talking about sports and weed, bro. But it just goes to show, like, this is my man's, and like, we can have a regular conversation, and I think that's a good thing about this pod.
Word.
But the podcast is about beats,
Yes.
and you're a real you are a ball knower when it comes to beats and production. Very few people who I know personally or anywhere really can kind of do what you do or understand it in a similar way. And so, had to bring you on the show and ask you, shoot the shit a little bit, ask a few questions, pick your brain, if that's all right with
Sure.
you.
Absolutely. This is actually officially year 20 of Small Professor
No
stuff.
way.
Yes, I
20
got
years?
my first project was in 2005. I think I put on Bandcamp that it came out on my birthday,
Mm.
even though I don't think that's what happened. But again, this was 20 years ago. But yeah, it's been 20 years of me um, wreaking havoc on the internets.
You've been going crazy, man.
Um, I
If I had an applause button, I'd hit it, man, because 20 years is serious.
Yeah, I probably should have. I mean, the year's not over yet, so I still may do something. But I didn't do anything for my personal birthday this year. But I think that is worth like.
Are you sure you didn't do anything on your birthday this year? I feel like I seen you on your birthday, or like there was something happening, like you were partying hard on your birthday. Wasn't there a show or something?
I don't think so.
I could be dead wrong. Let me
I
not.
don't remember. That was in June. That was like 3 months ago.
I know. I'm trying to
It's
think.
a
Well,
long time.
but
It's a long time in small professor world.
well, time kind of stands still for the small professor, and I noticed you before I jump too far ahead. I was gonna start talking about the time concept that pops up a bit throughout your work.
Mm,
But first, I wanted to get into, because first time I ever pulled up on you, like at your spot, and I never really know what anybody's beat making setup, studio, whatever is gonna look like unless I know, but I didn't know. And on my way to where you work at, I'm like, I'm actually kind of curious at this point because I don't even know what you use to make beats. And to
yeah.
this day, when I remember what you showed me you making beats on, I don't really remember can you tell me what the DAW is?
Sure. So that would be FL Studio V8.
V8. What are they up to, like 30 now?
They're 20,
You're
22
20.
or
You're
23.
you're using version 8 of FL Studio to make these beats, man. Am I hearing that correctly?
Yes. As well as Adobe Audition. I think that is 1.5.
1.5.
Yeah.
And mind you, I have never heard of a person making beats on Adobe anything in my life, except for you. So,
Well, there were quick backstory on that.
mhm,
So in 2003, when Ninth Wonder and Little Brother were first coming out, I think The Listening had come out earlier in that year. That's the year I started making beats officially,
okay.
my first year of college. But I was already like my father was partially a computer engineer. He just was good with all things technology.
Mhm.
So yeah, I was always on my own, personal computer. And when I found out, there was a producer who was using software to make beats, I was like, oh, if there's anything I can do, is something along those lines, because it was, kind of. I mean, they even kind of look like the computer games I was playing at that time.
Right.
So that's kind of how I got into that. But yeah, I think I bought an MPC 1000. I had a 1000 for like a week, and I sold it back. Um,
Whoa.
just because I realized that I was a like visual listener, if
Sure.
I know that makes sense to you.
Yes, it does.
But I liked, well, I had already gotten used to seeing everything and, like a big computer screen. So, I just gotten used to that workflow. So, yeah, when it got to version 8, I think I might have upgraded to 9. And I feel like something was like backwards in the like the song view section or something like that.
Right.
So I was like, nope, don't like it. So
Going back.
I I um went backwards and never haven't looked back since. So
Bro, that is
um
so crazy to me. It's funny, but it's not. It's dead serious. There's something to be said for that of like, no, wait, I know what works for me. Like there's something to be said for being able to maintain your creativity through stubbornness. Like I really applaud and commend that. I think that's really cool.
yeah,
Don't
so
mind the backup
also
camera. We in the whip.
shout
We in
out
the
Apollo
whip.
Brown.
Oh hell yeah. Shout out Apollo Brown
Apollo
always.
Brown still uses Cool Edit.
Cool Edit?
Um yes.
I ain't never heard of Cool Edit. Shout out to Apollo Brown. Now, are
Cool
you saying
Edit.
he has he been using that?
Yes, he's still use. I'm pretty sure he's still been using. He's been using like that same. I don't know if he's upgraded, but I feel like he still uses Cool Edit.
You know, bro, like
And
that? I shouldn't say this on a hot mic, but if you know, cuz I need to talk to him about that.
yo, your brain really works differently working in those like older programs.
Man,
Like it's just yeah, it's really fun. And also 14KT from Detroit.
hell yeah,
I'm pretty sure he doesn't, because he uses a whole lot of different stuff. But
sure.
I saw a video of him put a beat together on Cool Edit as well one time.
That is
And
wild.
I'm like, y'all are on some other stuff with that particular program. I think I used just that to make beats like in my like first remix project. I think I was using that, but
Oh, cool. When
yeah.
when did you make your first remix project?
Oh, so that was the one that came out in 2005.
Oh, okay, got it.
Homie, I remixed the classics
Cool.
was 2005. So basically, I originally wanted to be a rapper. My cousin Khalil had me over into his house in New Jersey to record what was supposed to be my like first album, and I heard one like playback of my voice, and I was like, that's it, I'm done.
Oh,
That's
were the
a
bars
that's a
hard? Like, were you like spitting?
So that was the thing. I always I like wrote poetry in high school and
Hmm.
stuff. And I've thought I was a good rapper. I'm pretty certain of that. It was just the writing and the like vocal delivery and breath control and all that stuff
Yeah,
just it never got to where I felt like I was good enough to rap the things that I was writing, if that
interesting.
makes sense.
No, it does make sense.
So I was like always like running out of breath and but that also means you're not writing the best you can
Sure.
according to your, you know, capabilities.
And yeah,
So understanding that probably was never I never was gonna wanna put as much time into that because I think I could have gotten it down.
interesting.
But I just love making beats so much. I was like, I know too many ill rappers that I can feel good about not following that particular artistic endeavor.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah. Um,
You do know some good ass rappers too. Like, let's
yeah,
not overshadow
I
that.
actually know the best
You know the
rappers. I
best
know
rappers.
the actual best rapper of all time is in my phone.
Yeah.
And the other, somebody else in my top five that the GOAT is in a group with is also in my phone. And
Yeah.
Then you got the Wrecking Crew fellas, and
Shout out to them.
all affiliates.
And
So I
interestingly
know.
enough, when you mention like the voice thing, because I've thought about that about my own voice. I enjoy rapping, I have fun with it, but when I hear myself rap, I'm like, voice doesn't really catch me. And everybody you just mentioned, they all like even in normal speaking conversation. I mean, like you talk to Curly Castro or Prem Rock, and immediately you would probably just be like, "Yo, do you rap?" Like you got like a
Yeah,
rapper voice. I was talking to
that's true.
who was the fuck? I was talking to somebody with a rapper voice, or like even at the show, like busting it up with lungs and like Feek. I'm like,
Yeah,
y'all just your voices already sound like you're rapping, but you're just talking.
yeah.
So
And that's not always the case, but when it is like
yeah.
evident, then it's like, oh, that's a no-brainer.
Right, right. And I mean,
Yeah.
even, and but to your point though, some people understand that about themselves. Some people's rap voices sound different than their speak. I think Woods sounds different when he raps than when he speaks, but I think he
Oh,
has
absolutely.
complete command over his rapping voice and is able to kind of get into that. You know what I'm saying? Like, so maybe he
Yeah,
had a similar thought and made that adjustment. I don't know, but I think about that quite a bit when I hear people rap who shouldn't rap.
yeah.
I'm like, do you hear yourself? Does this sound like some shit that you would have heard and been like, yo, who is this? You know?
Oh, and also, one of my favorite rap, like in terms of like just the voice, one of my favorites is the Large Professor.
Yes.
His rap voice, I mean, he as a rapper, period, he's
Yeah.
dope.
Yeah.
But the sound of his voice is literally the sound of like hip hop.
Yeah.
Like it is synonymous.
And when you know what though, when you think about it, because Large Pro got like a straight up grown ass man voice. And I
Yes.
think a lot of people who came up on stuff like that or who view that as what we think of as the standard, as they well should, I think that might be a lot of the disconnect between them and like some of the younger people, like, like the higher pitched stuff like that. They're like, yo, turn that bullshit off because it doesn't
Yeah.
sound like that. I think that like Large Pro is very much like, essential in terms of like that type of tone and timbre or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask
Shout out my man Paul.
Joe, shout out the professors and shout out to the medium professor wherever he might be. I'm sure y'all are gonna run into
So
him one of
that's
these
that's
days.
me too.
Oh shit. Did I give him too
Yeah,
much information?
probably.
Oh my, all right. Well
It's
then
all
I'm
good
gonna
though.
I'm gonna move on to my next cue card. You mentioned briefly the MPC 1000 and getting it back in a week, which I think is a whole interesting story in itself. Did you branch off and try any other hardware since then, or?
No, no, I have never once tried. Besides, when I've come to visit you, the only other like thing that I've done is try to figure out like the actual drums.
Mm-hmm.
Um, just because, I felt like that would preclude me getting back into hardware, which I am interested in. But I also just plain because I would be like the fifth drummer in my family if I ever decided to like do that
That's
as well.
amazing, man. Four
Yeah,
other drummers in your family?
I have three drummer uncles, and my younger brother is one of the illest in the world at
Whoa.
that as well.
Now, before we get too far away from what you just said, I think it's important to point out that you are also an ill drummer.
Sure, that's a fair statement.
Like, I don't
I
want you to
guess
separate
just
yourself too far from what they're doing. You're all doing the same
sure.
thing. Just
And it's funny, my father told me that before
yeah.
he passed. He was like, "Oh, you already can play.
Mm-hmm.
You just have to learn how to do it in this realm because I can like, produce the same effect basically.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And shout out to
Um,
your pops, who I obviously never met. But
yeah,
may he rest in peace, and shout out to him. And
that is the Marlowe that the first song on Terror Management is
which
inspired by.
I think that's my introduction to you, actually.
Wow, so that's actually Small Pro,
Okay,
which is
not the small professor.
yes, those are those are different. Same person, different musical identities.
I love that.
Yeah.
And I heard that beat, and that very well might be my favorite Woods album. I think Black Chai said something like that on the internet recently. Like, this is the best Woods album. I'm like, I'm inclined to agree. But even listening to that whole album, with due respect to everybody who put hands on it, that first track, man, like, it draws you in such a way. And
Yeah.
and back to Woods' credit about the way that he uses his voice, like that sample. I don't know if it's actually reversed or if it just sounds drawn out in such a way, and it mirrors the way that he puts words together, and that just, like, to me, stood out so strongly because I had just kind of gotten into his music, and I'm like, yo, this beat right here is kind of like a Billy Woods type beat. Like, this fits exactly.
You talking about Marlo?
Yeah, man, for sure.
That is actually pre-reversing music uh, era.
Interesting. It
I
just it
wonder
maybe it's
what you
that
hear.
it
It does.
sounds
I'm trying to think of it. It kind of does sound.
that kind of turn around towards the end. Ba-na-na. Like, it doesn't actually sound reversed. Like, it's not like the Paul Revere
Hmm.
like drum situation thing. It
Yeah.
has like a draw to it. It almost sounds a little war. I don't know though. I should probably have a better vocabulary for what I'm hearing since I
No,
make
no.
music. But
It's all,
you feel me? It's like something, I don't know.
yeah.
Anyway, it sounds like it kind of sounds the way that he raps. And I think it's
Hmm.
such a great fit. And I love that beat. And I was going to mention it at some point, no matter what. So thank you for making that beat.
Sure.
And thank you, Marlo. May you rest in peace. Appreciate your pops, man, for real.
Yeah.
Um, I was going to say, you kind of answered this question already. Because I was saying, have you tried any other, excuse me, any other hardware? But you stuck to the same thing. Now, has
Yep.
your process changed over the years? Within that same workflow, or are you more or less doing what you were doing when you started?
Oh, it's very different than when I first started. I'll say, just doing it up, obviously, for that amount of time, as well as, I'll be under the effect of various substances while doing the music.
Hmm.
Um, you kind of just happen upon certain things that you might not have otherwise. And
Sure.
then some things just in terms of because that like the computer that I'm running everything on is old as well.
Right.
So, this is the same as working with hardware that has like limited sample time, right?
Right.
So I can't, for example, I can't throw a song that has 20 acapellas in one like FL session. It'll
Right.
crash.
Right.
So I have to like figure out, workarounds around that. I've actually, in the last, I want to say 3 or 4 years,
Hmm.
have started relying more on the um, the VSTs that are native to FL Studio 8, like the
Naturally.
slicer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but just leaning on like the in box effects more,
Sure.
which kind of helps with like the processing issues and kind of lessening the so my chops are bigger mostly, you know what I mean? So it's less like files in there at one time. So yeah, I definitely would say my process and things, the way that I'm like actually working in there is evolving, as well as like whoever I'm working with kind of unlocks a new kind of way of like doing things as well.
Sure.
For example, prime example, right now, me and Prem Rock are pretty like he's recorded most of his stuff for our record. Um, and
I'm hype
like
about
his
that. Shout out
style.
Prem.
Yeah. He's oh man, it's gonna be really good when it's
Prem's
all
crazy, man.
yeah, man. But like his style and my style, like he recorded to some very, I'll say sparse instrumentals,
Okay.
but basically I went like this will be a like small professor, small pro collab
Whoa. You collabing with yourself?
because yeah, brother.
Oh, yeah. You 10
Because
steps ahead of the game.
basically, yeah, yo. So, like on certain beats, I don't know, like to me, I'm biased, but to me it sounds like two people. But
Right.
like, he recorded to a beat and then like I'll like after like I got the vocals back, like I would add stuff. Or I should say Small Pro would add stuff.
Oh, I got
Or
it.
you know what I
Okay.
mean? So it's like
Sure.
kind of like that. And certain beats like Small Pro did,
Right.
and now like Small Professor is the one kind of like putting it all together. So it's kind of like that, if that makes any sense.
That makes a
I
lot of sense.
personally, yeah, I personally, like I always looked up to Madlib.
Of course.
Madlib is actually who got me into smoking.
Nice.
Yeah, and
Sparked a lot.
I wanted to be so much like Madlib. I did a project with Guilty Simpson too. So
Hell yeah. You damn right, bro.
but
Talk your shit,
another
Smalls.
another thing is I always liked the concept of having like like aliases, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But at the same time I always liked my name so much. I was like I don't want to change my name. So
You are the small professor.
that's kind of where like the concept of like that's I'm not gonna say that's why people call me Smalls now, but that is a byproduct of um like the multiple kind of identities that are either like on paper or like kind of will be. So for
Right.
example, like Small Professor with all the S's as dollar signs
Uh-huh. I think I know where that's
is
heading.
yeah, buddy.
Whoa. Tell the people.
Because certain people, I'm working with Teller
My
Banks.
guy.
I've been working with Teller Banks.
My guy.
Um,
Shout out Teller Banks,
and
man.
I always knew I wanted to do something with dollar signs in my name, and because I always was like, I'm gonna do, I just want to do like, I don't even know what that's gonna sound like. But when y'all did the drugs project,
Mm.
I was like, oh snap,
Well,
they over there, teaming up. They making a super team.
we did it, bro.
Y'all was like the 2012 Miami Heat.
Bro, we was like the 2017 Warriors, low key.
Yeah, super team,
Just super
super
teamed
team
up. Just not
vibes.
fair.
Yeah, it's not fair, bro.
Well, yo, man,
That's
I've been
not
trying to get,
fair.
bro. I'm still trying to get some collab shit with you, bro. Across different, like I can't say too much. I be forgetting it's a hot mic. I think I'm like on the phone with the homie and shit. I be forgetting it's like we're like doing a show, so I don't want to give off too much. But nah, bro, we
No,
gotta lock in real soon. For a couple different things. But yeah,
but
shout out
that's
Teller though, man. I've been dying here. It's funny because he'll send me a lot of unreleased stuff, and I don't
uh,
think he sent me any of like the like stuff that y'all worked on. So he's like holding it close to the chest. I'm really curious about it, and I
it's closely
really,
guarded.
man, I'm excited to hear it, dude. He's a very one of one type
But
of talent.
for sure, dollar sign Smalls is he's coming.
You're a madman,
So
bro.
dollar sign Smalls is actually me, Small Professor, Small Pro, and one other. The other Smalls are there's a French one, there's a Spanish one, Professor
Whoa,
Professor.
yo, and you know what
They have a
though,
project.
Professor.
Yes, Professor.
Yo, all right, prop. I see.
EUR.
Professor.
Um, that's a different one. Um, but the other day I like searched. I was just googling Googling my name as one does.
Yeah.
And about 10 years ago, I was getting clowned on a message board for my name, and somebody spelled it wrong in a completely different way.
Uh.
They spelled professor with a ER.
Uh-huh.
Now, ER is like out of the seven of us, he's probably the like the grumpiest one, like the evilest one.
He's like Doodle
Because
Bob. He's like a whole
yeah,
word. Okay, okay, okay.
professor, because professor is like, you like that's a like a professing, you like you're whatever you're professing, but
Right, right,
that's
right.
what you
One who
do.
professes. I got you.
Yes, exactly. It's
Got you.
different from OR, like that's
A,
the
a
that's the
profession.
yeah, exactly. So I don't know what his music is gonna sound like, but um I kind of envision it. You remember in Avengers Ultron when Ultron came online for the first time?
I don't remember. Ray probably
And
remembers.
I
he
remember.
was
Ray
like, "What
remembers.
is
Exactly.
this?"
Right.
Ultron was like, "This, where's my body?"
Well,
You know what I mean? Like I'm alive, but what's going on here? But that's
well,
kind of like ER Professor. Like he
interesting.
just he just got spoken to existence, and he didn't have nothing to do with nothing. So his music is gonna be, I don't know. It's gonna be weird though.
I find it
He doesn't technically exist, but he does.
I find it interesting because a lot of people are probably going to hear this and be like, "Well, it doesn't matter if you got 10 names if you only got, if you don't have enough beats for all of them." But I will tell everyone listening right now from like my experience, I've watched this dude scroll through a folder with no bullshit thousands of beats in it. Like thousands. Like Small Pro, Small Professor, all of these professors have a lot of beats. So this is not just cap for the sake of making a new name. Like I'm willing to bet each of these people have discographies similar to Madlib. Like all of his other joints, like have full on albums and story arcs and shit. So I wanted to
Yeah,
point that
yeah,
out
they're
as well.
they're all coming along. Some of them probably will be more active than others.
That's fair.
But yeah, yeah. I don't know if I want to do like individual Bandcamp pages and all that. I don't know if it's worth all that, but
That's how you know somebody really committed. You got multiple Gmails and all. Yeah, I get it, man.
I mean it's on the table because what basically is going to happen is like we're all starting off from the same like starting point, but like there's a prime example like AJ Suede
Shout out Sway.
he spelled professor with one S
Mm,
on the Grateful Dread project.
that's a great
And I was
project, by the way.
like, yo, yeah, very dope. But so the pack that he got that those two beats from, like I had to go back and be like, all right, well, this is all now Professor,
Right. Okay, I
like
get that.
that's like that release, um, which is still coming out. Yeah, that's the drumless pack.
Well, to be fair, that's one of the words that people do misspell pretty regularly.
Sure,
I don't even think that's not too foul of a misspelling.
sure, sure.
Um, Shout out Suede. You got to make sure to pull up, bro. I'm doing a show with Suede and Feek and Lungs up at Silk City.
No, not
Uh,
only will I pull up, but I also will be performing.
oh, that's right. You're performing with Zilla Rocca. Bro, we all on the show. I'm in autopilot, dog. I forgot, bro. Ain't that a bit? I just looked at that flyer, too. I'm just doing my job, though, bro. As a journalist and as a performer, I'm
That's
like,
a
I got to
good
promote, bro.
that's a good plug, bro.
I got a little baby platform, and now that's a little viral moment. So now we're both promoted, and we're gonna be at the show. The fucked up
No
thing though
doubt.
is that that's the same night as the Teller Banks McKinley Dixon show, which is at Warehouse on Watts.
No.
Swear to God, and that got rescheduled. Like I would have never double booked that, but it got rescheduled from a previous date. So I'm hoping that I can do like some sitcom shit and be at both somehow. But we'll
Oh, we're
cross
gonna
that
have to
bridge
figure
later.
something out.
We're gonna figure something out. I might send like a see that's why Doom was so smart for wearing a mask. Just send other
Yeah.
niggas to do his show for him.
What? Oh, no. I am I am distraught.
I think that's a fire. I think I commend that. You mentioned the project, um, like some of the full length situations, and I know that you, in my mind, you're like a full length project producer.
Yeah.
Um, do you typically sit down to make beats with the thought of like, all right, I need to sit here and make this whole entire album for Sean Price or for whomever, or do you?
Sometimes.
Yeah. What do you think the split
Sometimes
is
I do.
between like I want to just make a beat or like I need to, or like does it become I need to make a full project after a few beats?
Um, this year has been kind of wonky because I don't like I basically haven't made any new beats since March.
No way.
Yeah, yeah. I've been only working on the albums that I've had kind of in the queue.
Sure.
So when that's done, I'll probably get back to my like usual flow, which is like a lot of remixes. So I have like all of Kendrick's stuff bounced out, like the vocals. So whenever I want to, I can just get to work on those. I want to do a clips, kind of thing.
Right.
And not, like I don't know that I'm into like the remix albums, um, like releasing them anymore. But
Mhm.
I'd rather have the vocals to build around.
Right.
I feel like the rappers that I end up working with gravitate towards those kind of naturally because they're already kind of built and have space for vocalists.
That's very interesting.
Um, and I'll probably end up do some more just random instrumental stuff, like really. Uh, I won't say unwrappable because everything is rappable.
Yeah, if you nice.
Um, yes. That being said, I can make it as hard as I possibly can for you to rap on it,
There we
and
go.
that's what.
That's when we really start cooking with some grease.
Yes.
Every time, those are always the best songs. Or I'm like, this isn't even a beat. What the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
Like, what's happening?
Exactly.
Yo,
I
that's fire.
can I can make it very hard on you. But the thing is, and I was telling Prem this the other day. Um, One thing that I pride myself on is whoever I've worked on a project with,
Mhm.
when we are done, they have like I have made them sweat. Curly Castro was in the studio. He had to take his hat off last night because he was trying to get his verse out over the joint,
Right,
and his head was about to explode. But
man.
not so much in that way, but
No, I
like
feel you.
creatively, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Like like I don't really work with anybody that can't do something to a unorthodox beat. But the act of them like figuring out how to do it means that probably they can rap on anything
Mm,
after that.
yeah,
Um, so that's kind of like what like Blue Edwards with Castro, for example,
right.
was for me anyway, is a turning point in his like discography. It was probably like the weirdest thing he had done so far, and um, like look at Shrapnel now. You know what I mean?
Man, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like I'm not taking credit for, I
Sure.
am saying that as teammates, that's part of what we do. We push each other. Steel sharpens steel and all that, good stuff.
Yes, it does.
So yeah, so that's what I try to do as far as working with rappers. I really would like to, without saying any names, but probably some of who they are, but I would like to focus in the next couple of years on working with more Philly rappers. I've been all over the country with my art, but I've been back in the city for 2 years now, and now that I know who's who and What's
Mm,
what again? I've been focusing more on that as well as like crew stuff and
yeah.
um,
So you've been
you know
gathering the intel.
yes,
You've
yes,
been monitoring
that's
the
the other
situation.
that's exactly.
I should have known.
Um,
I'm right there with you, bro. There's some Philadelphia artists who I would also really like to work with. There's some
hmm
Philadelphia artists that need to hit me back right now. Who got DMs and texts sitting in their shit, and they acting like they don't know me. But you know what though? That's okay because I know
Yeah,
that that's not personal, and I know that we're all busy. But I do
for
also
sure.
know when we put aside some of our, shall I say, differences, or shall I say, time constraints, and if we really lock in, I think between all the people we got in like a several mile radius, man, we could walk away with some
Oh
Grammys and
yeah.
some Emmys and some more shit, man. We could be EGOT winners.
Yeah, man. I just would like I don't know which of the professors is going to do it, but I just want one Grammy nomination.
Me too. I was
That's all I
just
want.
talking about that. That's
That's all I want.
no, listen,
Just
bro.
one. I don't even want to win. I don't even care if I win.
Ray, were we
I
not
just
just
want a
talking about that?
nomination.
A nomination puts you on. You're good.
Yeah, like you straight with the
Yes.
nom. You straight with the nom. So I think,
Listen,
The way to do it.
but you know
my
what though? Collaboratively speaking, that's not even hard. Like if we
no.
really get in a room, like let's just say me and you and people whose names I'm not gonna say out loud, just like some people, sitting in a
Yes.
room and actually really thinking with pens and pads and like your phone got to be in a lockbox, and we spend all day sitting there really really thinking like, nah, this isn't about what I like or you like. This is about what will win a fucking Grammy. And we spend all day and all week on it. I bet we get a Grammy.
I think we could.
I think we could do it.
Yes.
You know.
And this is purely the competitive part of my musical identity because my younger brother has like three Grammy nominations. I
Damn.
think he has four actually. He might have three.
So you're saying you're not even saying you would like one. You need at least one,
At least.
At least just one. Just one. Just
bro. You
one.
just need at least.
Then I could say the Grammy nominated brothers.
Will you
You know what
listen?
I mean?
Will you listen to Grammy Family by Kanye West and Consequence and John Legend if that happens?
I will listen to
The beat.
the version of the song that has who did a good one on that?
Jay-Z has a legendary freestyle on
Yes,
there at Hot
that's the
97.
one.
Yeah, he went
Um,
crazy.
yes, I do
People got
like
the
that
nerve.
one.
I don't. This is a complete sidebar, and it's not about shit. But people really have a lot of nerve at trying to like. They make it cool to act like Jay Z was never nice or is not good or some shit like that, and it drives me
Yes,
absolutely insane.
yes. That was my favorite rapper for a long time,
That's because you're a
and
real nigga, and this is the East Coast. And when
yeah,
people can't understand that, I don't really take them too seriously.
yeah. Still, I still bump all albums from '96 to 2008. Yeah, from Reasonable Doubt to American Gangster. I think is where I draw the line.
One of the
Everything after that, I
one
think
of
everything after that is Basquiat here, Jay Z,
yeah,
who I
you didn't like 444.
no,
Um, I thought it was good. It's just not really too replayable. It's like a movie that you
no,
know is
it's
good,
not.
but you don't got it. You don't like it at all.
I I couldn't even tell you what's on
Uh,
there, to
you
be
know what,
honest with
bro?
you.
I don't want to go too deep into this because I'm not gonna lie. I was just thinking about this the other day too. I ended up getting almost canceled for my Jay Z opinion. We were standing outside a show in Brooklyn, and it was like me and Akai, fucking Theravada was there, Kelly Moonstone was there, people were there. Feek and Lungs were there. Like everybody from like I think Benji was there. People were there. And somehow we started talking about Jay-Z, and I was like, yeah, man, I think Magna Carta is like overhated, low key. Like it's not great or whatever, but it's not as bad as people act like it is.
All
And
right, so
everybody
that's
wanted to
another
get. They looked
album.
like I was about to
Yeah.
get jumped pretty much, and I was in New York, in
What
Brooklyn,
was
saying this.
the consensus was less than favorable, I'm guessing.
The consensus is that I'm crazy. People were looking at me like I just went down a peg in everybody's opinion meter, which doesn't matter to
Well, I
me.
mean,
I think there's some
I
cool
think
beats
you
on there.
have I think so I'll get there. You have polarizing opinions is your brand.
That's true.
So that doesn't surprise me. When it comes to that album, if I that's another album I don't ever listen to, but what I will say is half of it is really dope beats and bars that I'm not fond of, and then the other half is the opposite.
Very fair.
It's a little different than 444. With that, I just pretended
He
this
got
doesn't exist.
Yeah, he got some bars
But
off on that. And we're not gonna make this the Jay-Z hour, but the last thing I'm gonna
sure,
say on this topic, and now I am gonna say names because this shit was actually hilarious. The hottest, if you think that's a hot take, the hottest Jay-Z takes you will ever hear. Q3 has some very interesting Jay-Z takes, and I love Q3. That's my man's. But one time we were
shout
hanging
out
out.
Q3 for sure.
Shout out Q3. And we was like in the spot, and he was like, he said something about Kingdom Come, like about, and I, like in a very, very positive light. I'm not gonna say exactly what he said because he gonna say I misquoted him, but I'm like, damn, bro, that's like an opinion I've never heard before. Like he's got some, he feels favorably about some of the later Hove releases, and I'm gonna leave it at that. But there's
I
stuff there.
also have a soft spot for Kingdom Come. So,
Really? I thought nobody liked that
yeah,
album. Respectfully, damn it, we're
I
on a hot
do.
mic. We love Jay-Z over here, man.
I
Shout out Rock
do.
Nation.
I do.
Shout out all my peoples, man.
Yes, that was the comeback album. So, yeah, I remember when Just Blaze put that flip on his MySpace page in 2006. Wow, it's that old now.
Because now I'm thinking
Holy
about the
moly.
Heaven beat, but that was Magna Carta. That beat's kind of stupid. Anyway, we're not gonna talk
Yeah,
about Jay-Z anymore on this podcast. This ain't about that.
sure.
We talk about beats.
Sure, I'll come up again.
FL8. I've never used FL. The last couple of interviews that I did were with people who use things that I use. So I was
Sure.
kind of geeking out and like getting more into that. But is it anytime I picture FL Studio, or I guess at that point it was Fruity Loops, but I'm seeing a step sequencer in my mind.
hmm
Like,
That's it.
is it largely like a step sequencer first?
Yeah, I think that's fair to say.
That's really interesting because you make such soulful, like the type of stuff that we like, And when I think step sequencer, sometimes I think more quantized to the grid. But and if I'm not mistaken, August Phenom be using FL, and like a lot of the great soul beat makers use FL. So I guess this isn't as much of a question, but more of a I need you to just show me that. I need to see you make a beat in FL soon.
Sure. That can absolutely be arranged. And the one thing that I will say in terms of that is there was a video that Pete Rock, I think this was 2006,
Okay.
but Pete Rock was showing how he was, chopping a sample on the MP,
hmm
and that and Donuts were like the same time.
hmm
But I kind of still think I think in terms of like how an MPC user uses pads
Right.
is how I program in FL. So it's a different outlet, but the same kind of thought process, like in terms of chopping in quarter notes, and actually, we're beyond that now. But that's pretty much where it stems from. And also there is kind of like if you set FL at a certain BPM, it will stretch your samples to quarter note length automatically. So you don't even have to like stretch. You don't have to do anything. Like it'll like however you chop it, it'll
Oh,
play
right.
it like
Right.
that. You know what I mean?
Right.
And there's just ways you can manipulate the kind of intrinsic settings that the program has. The same way you would, everybody does. Everybody has their own like tricks and stuff with their equipment. But that's kind of how I personally get out of things sounding like programmed. In
Right.
fact, it's literally one of the first things I remember saying to my brother, my younger brother, who kind of taught me like percussion
hmm
specifically. Because I always wanted to sound as human as possible. I always wanted to sound like I was a band that you just never heard of, and you were like, "Oh snap!"
It's admirable.
yeah. It's me, but it's like, me plus the combined talents of the last 50 years of uh musicianship through my lens.
That's real. I mean, and I
Yeah.
believe that you've done a good job of that. I think that you've brought that to
Yeah,
fruition
man.
quite nicely.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. I wanted to also, because you know what, I did actually have a kind of, I had like a, well, so I guess I'm just still caught up on. So you, if I'm understanding this correctly, you've only used FL9 or 8 and Audition, like, and that's it. Like, you haven't, have you, like, you ain't fucked with Ableton or you know,
Never.
wow, man, because it's kind of sounds to me like the Ableton time stretch thing, and I was gonna ask like, oh, is it anything like the Ableton joint? But that is just really fire to me that you have been like, this works, we're doing this. Like I really love that because I am the opposite.
Mhm.
As some people might know, it's like I see a new
Yeah.
thing. If I can afford it, like, I'm grabbing that joint. We're gonna like fuck with it. And you know, like I have like 1,000 samplers in my fucking, in my space. So I'm just enjoying the time that I'm having asking y'all about this stuff because, y'all are nerds like me with it and shit.
Mhm.
Sorry, we in the trenches now. We made it all the way to the Northeast. I've been conducting this whole interview in the whip, by the way. Shout out to Ray. Shout out to
Shout out to Ray.
Philadelphia. Shout out to Northeast Philadelphia. Um,
I won't go that far, but
Come on,
anyway.
look, bro. I have a sweet spot. Me and Ray, but like a little bit of backstory. But this ain't a real personal podcast. But me and Ray, like dead ass, used to live together, like around, like with the homies, not too far from here and shit. So it's always gonna feel a certain
Uh,
way for me.
Yeah,
yeah.
there's spots just like everywhere else.
It's just like everywhere, you know what I
Spots
mean?
like
And
everywhere else.
hey, bro, you're not even far. But it's so funny because I was living in Northeast for mad long, and like you uptown Northwestern ish type of people was like right there, and I didn't even know that whole area existed at all
Oh
until
yeah.
like 2 years ago. It's crazy, man.
Yeah.
Philly, shout out to Philadelphia. Um,
Yes.
and I would like, because I did want to keep most of these to roughly an hour, but we can,
Sure.
honestly we can go a little bit over because we got to having some fun. But so yeah, you have already answered most of my questions. The next questions, I should start with this one. Because lately you mentioned like the group, me and Kane and Philip and Ayashi and like working
Hmm.
together. Have you ever made beats with someone else, like in a collaborative way? And if not, how would that look to you if you were to do it, or how did it look when you did
Um.
it?
Yeah. So my older cousin, Khalil,
Hmm.
he's a year ahead of me, but he he also taught me like how to do what I do and um early on what I couldn't do also at the time. So I think this will date me, but one of my first ideas was like I had a sample from the Wiz soundtrack.
Yeah.
Um, and this, obviously you could easily do this very thing today. You can do it on your phone, but I was like, oh, I just want to take like the vocals out
Hmm.
and I just want to sample this part. He was like, yeah, you can't, you gotta like figure out
Right.
how to do what you want to do with what you have. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And I actually have started using well, okay, so I do use Isotope
Yeah.
here and there, very sparingly though.
Okay.
Um, Sometimes there are like I guess it's the same kind of thing. If like vocals are getting too crowded in a beat, like I'll just take those out.
Right.
Because obviously, well, but I don't, I do a lot of layering.
Yes, you do, and you do it very
Yeah,
well.
so that's all, that's from the New York producer Pantheon
Mm,
wheelhouse, Primo and Pete and Q-Tip and all the beat miners and DITC. And all the layering is indebted to those cats.
absolutely.
But yeah, like I said, now you can do whatever you want. You can take the bass out, you can take the guitars out, you can take the voice out, you can do all that
Instantly.
stuff now. Yeah, which I 19-year-old me would be like um, probably making some lazy beats with the capabilities we have now.
That's a very good
Um,
point, man. You just said a lot just there.
yeah.
There's some of that going on, man. There's some of that going on.
Well, you don't know what you don't know. And what
Uh-huh.
I do know is that having a challenge and figuring it out despite whatever kind of discrepancies might be uh, audible to you makes for more creative music. If you can just take everything out of the music that you want to sample, then I don't know. That's not as fun to me personally. So I just try to, work around and try to keep it creative as possible instead of um, potentially using that as a crutch. Because I
Sure.
think that is, there's a danger of that happening.
I agree, but at the same time, though, I will push back on it slightly. I believe, I think it can easily get lazy, but anything can. And I think it
Yes.
roots itself back to the initial argument. Like I sampled on the black tape, which is only available on cassette, and there's only a couple left, so hit my line. I sampled Steve Albini bitching about how sampling isn't real music and it's not talent because like, oh well, you could just that's lazy. Somebody else worked really hard to make that, and now you're just doing. So it's like this is like the smaller Russian doll version of that. Like, oh, well, you can
Sure.
just pull the fucking vocals out. What's the point? You might as well just. But like, yeah, you can. But at the end of the day, nobody cares how any of us made a beat, except for the people listening to this podcast, who I appreciate all of them. And we're the
Yeah.
nerds. But end of the day, to the listener, is it fire? You know what I mean?
Sure.
That's where it lands for a lot of listeners. And while I do agree with you completely, sometimes I
Mhm.
also have to kind of give in and just be like, well, because the beats that people want from me are always the ones that I was about to throw out, and people keep telling me to stop deleting beats, so I'm like, okay, I'll stop deleting beats.
Well, stop deleting beats for one, and for two,
I deleted more beats this week. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
yes. Oh gosh.
Good
Um, yeah. I don't delete anything anymore.
for you.
Because even like the chops I can use for something else.
That's
You know what I
very
mean?
true.
So if just for that, and you never know
Well, you must be very
what.
organized though.
That's also part of it.
I got to work on that
I'll
heavy.
never forget me and Messiah Music.
Shout out Messiah.
Oh, this actually goes back to your actual question
Okay.
that was about collaborations.
Hmm.
But that one is a little, I wouldn't say that's kind of the norm, but what he and I did as far as collaborating, so he emailed me a bunch of beats that he was about to delete.
Wow.
And I was like, um, you're a crazy person
That's mad smart.
because they
That's
were
very smart of him.
fire.
That's
I'm
brilliant.
telling you, it was like, and one of the beats that I told him not to delete
Uh-huh.
ended up on the Church album
Wow.
because it was amazing.
Wow.
But the other stuff, basically what I did, I basically I made kind of like blends
Mm.
with his beats, but also added stuff. So it's like multiple Messiah musics like on one track.
Whoa.
Yeah, so but also like trying to minimalize the like because it's usually a lot going on. And his beats are generally like a little stripped down, uh, much less much less going on than like what I generally have. But yeah, joining forces was like, how do I make what's would usually be busy for me kind of like dial it back,
Mm.
but with his kind of brain attached to it. So yeah, he sent me I think I'm probably gonna ask him for some more stuff to like flip. But actually yeah, I've actually collab I did a forgot about this. My memory is terrible, bro.
Me too.
I did a couple beats with Obliv.
Oh man, the
I
good
gotta play
brother.
you those.
Yeah, you gotta play me up, bro.
I gotta play
Flip, bro. And that's somebody, bro. If
It's
if
my
you stay
man.
if you stay in contact with these people, bro, I don't even care. They gonna call it glazing or they gonna call it whatever. But if Obliv and if goddamn Messiah Music like hit you up anytime soon, be like, yeah, I just did this podcast with my man's Q. Hit him up. Cause these are brains that I need to pick. Like this really isn't about some clout or like who knows what. It's
Yeah,
like there's a lot of really, really useful and valuable information sitting in y'all's brains. It's just like the beats that I've deleted, where like
yeah. Stop
it
doing that again.
it don't but it don't cost nothing to oh yeah, let's just yap for about an hour. Somebody gonna listen to this
Yeah,
shit and like come up.
for sure.
There's some good information in here. But that's good. I mean, I think improvisation, and to keep it with that jazz theme, it's like that's a really big part of it.
Absolutely.
Um, wh- Damn, we need to collab, dog. I'm just gonna keep saying it. This should have been a personal phone call from me to you, and just me telling you we need to collab.
No, you
My
had to. You needed the content, brother.
which leads me
It's
to
all
my
good.
next question, which is, let's say, and everything's on the table. Nobody's gonna get offended. People are gonna hear this. Maybe they get mad. No, ain't nobody gonna get mad. We're speaking highly of people. Let's just say, spitball. Me and you are like we like link up. Finally, we get up together, and we're like, yo, we about to sit down and make 15 beats. Who would you like to send them joints to? It can be somebody you know, somebody that's alive, somebody that's dead, somebody you don't know. It could be anybody. Like, we sit down and we make some joints. It'd be like, who do you think me and you would make good beats for between us?
That's a good question.
It is. It might be a little loaded. I just thought of it just now.
Yeah, I'd have to think about that.
Well, I guess we'll have a real answer for it in real life, and everybody will know.
Yeah,
Um, and and you
we'll
gotta
definitely figure that out.
you gotta get this
You know what it
404,
is
bro.
too? Oh yeah. Well, now I'm rusty again, so I have to relearn all my lessons. But one thing that is like I guess I've been like more focused on like my crew stuff.
Hmm.
And I'm like getting old, so I don't know as many like rappers
I
anymore.
I think you're getting young, man. I
Um,
think your brain works in a very interesting way. I feel like every time I talk to you, I'm like, yo, like, you know what I mean? Just like a bright young mind. I don't know. I don't think you're getting old, bro. I don't think you can get old. Um, all my all or most of my questions are really answered.
mhm.
And I did want to. There's some questions that I usually be doing, but we done shouted people out. We done mentioned the greats. You've mentioned the techniques of what was working. I'm trying to think if I've left anything on the table because I'm not, like I said, I'm really not the most organized, so I need to get a little bit better with that. Um, is there any technique? Yeah, you already talked about that. Yeah, shit, man. Do you have any questions, comments, concerns? How do you feel about this? You think this was a good interview? You fucking with it?
Well, this is great. Great interview.
I think it's great, man. I think we're gonna.
I think the best interviews are between like people that are like cool with each other. That's
Yeah,
what I
man.
would like to listen to.
That's what I would like to listen
Um,
to as well. Um, and yeah, I just got to say again, man, appreciate your time. Thank you for pulling up. Is there anybody that you would like to shout out? Any you don't gotta, I don't want to play the damn acceptance speech music. You can say who you want to say. Anybody you want to shout out? Anything you've been listening to? Is there any we're spreading love on this joint, so anything at all that you'd like to shout out or upcoming projects or whatever, man. Floor is yours.
yeah, man. Shout out the Wrecking Crew, Zilla
Always.
Rocca, Curly Castro, Premrock. Like you said, me and Zilla will be performing December. We'll probably be doing a little mix of because he's got two projects out this year. So we'll probably be doing some like newer stuff, and I told him the last time I saw him, we probably were gonna like do some new joints because I think our last project was in 2021
Well,
or 20, yeah, it was a while ago though.
I'm hyped for
But
that.
yeah, yo, but yeah, oh, shout out to I Live too.
Yes.
Um, yeah, and shout out my lady
Hell yeah.
who's battling Miami currently
That's
for
lit, bro.
this
You know you're
call.
the first person to shout their girl out. I'm just saying.
No, that's messed up.
We spread love, but like I've come to realize a little bit. I think I'm just chaotic in nature, and sometimes I say shit I don't really mean. But I think people know that my heart's in
Yeah,
the right place. And this is all in the name of spreading information. And if you've been listening to this for the past hour and you didn't get no information, that's your fault. And yeah, shout out to everybody at home listening. Shout out to everybody outside listening. Once again, shout
word.
out to everybody in the city of Philadelphia except for Nick Sirianni, and shout out to this isn't about me. This isn't about me. Go sports, go music. Shout out everybody, and Small Professor, once again, thank you, my brother. I appreciate
Thanks
you.
for having me. And
Anytime.
we shall join forces
Yeah,
soon, and I'll
Get a
learn
Grammy,
you
bro.
and get
something,
that
and
Grammy.
you
Get
will
that
learn me
Grammy, bro.
something.
You goddamn right,
I
bro.
don't even, yeah, nah, just the Grammy nom,
Just
just
the
the Grammy
nom. We're gonna
nom,
get that
You're right.
nom.
Just the
just the
number.
nom.
We're gonna
For
get
me,
that
if y'all want to
nom.
win, that's fine. I
That
just want
nom.
the nom though.
That Nom Chomsky. Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Well,
unless my
listen.
brother wins one, and then that will be my next goal.
Mm.
But for now,
Well,
I
you
just want
gotta.
the nod.
You might could get a daytime Emmy if we make like a funny enough TikTok or something. There might be some shortcuts. I don't know. I don't know how any of that works, and that's a different podcast entirely.
Yeah,
But for all of for everybody, tapping in, appreciate y'all. I'm finna sign out, and I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I hope that you all drink a glass of water.
that's a good
Good sign off,
nugget
right?
of advice.
My man. All right, peace, brother, man.
All right, yo.